Hi, and welcome to the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. My name is Chris Burris, owner of eWebStyle.
I'm Charles Lewis, your internet marketing specialist.
Welcome back, Malcolm Whack, to another fun-filled edition of the SEO podcast. This is podcast number 253. This is the best SEO podcast
On iTunes, on the known planet, on your device, on my device, on the internet.
Everywhere. We are broadcasting live from Houston, and as always, we have a tip from our previous podcast, and that tip is observe the click patterns of your visitors to determine places for improvement.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Right? So what that means is when you say observe the click patterns, this requires some knowledge of analytics.
Right.
You log into Google Analytics, you can see how people landed on the site,
Right.
what page they went to after that, how long they was there, where did they drop off at. And maybe they're just dropping off on the same page that you really need them to convert on.
Right.
Figure out why. Right? What's wrong with that page? How could that page be improved? Maybe the CTA could be more prominent. Maybe your form's too long. Maybe the content's not relevant. Maybe it just sucks. But either way, looking at those click patterns, you can figure out where your drop-off is and then make the improvement on that particular page.
Yeah, maybe it's dropping off even before it gets to the page where you need them to take them a
Exactly.
specific action. I don't know, because your web guy deleted the link. And sometimes that's you. No one to blame but yourself. And by the way, there is no one to blame but yourself if you're not looking at those patterns.
Exactly.
Please remember, we are your friendly local neighborhood top position snatchers, where our mantra is,
Don't be a douche.
if you have a device, do what Chuck's doing, tweet now. And what should they tweet?
You should tweet this. That's right behind us. Hashtag SEO Podcast. This is number 253. Be sure to tag us in it at eWebStyle, at Best SEO Podcast. That way we can follow you back and do all of our social networking stuff.
If this is the first podcast of ours that you've listened to, welcome. Thank you for checking us out.
Appreciate you.
We're going to get through the potatoes here pretty soon and get right to the meat. If this is more than the first podcast, if you've listened to us before, we're going to ask you to do one of three things. The first one has 3 steps. Go onto iTunes, create an account, and write a review. Hopefully that review will be 5 stars. And if you do write a review, you can send us an email, podcast at
e-webstyle.com.
Let us know you wrote that review. We'll find it, track it down. If you're in a different country, it's hard to find. We'll get to it, and we'll read it on air. Next, you can go to our G Plus local page.
Yes.
If you are an SEOer, then you know there is value in a G Plus local
page.
review. So we've made it really easy to get to our G Plus local page. All you have to do is go to e-webstyle.com/
Google Plus.
or slash
Google Plus.
or slash
G Plus.
or slash.
G Plus.
All of those will take you to our G Plus local page.
Yes.
We ask you to do 3 things on that page.
When you
Those
get to
3
that
things
page,
are?
just do these real things for us. Three of them. It won't take you long. First off, leave us the review. That's like by far the most important thing to do. Leave us that review. Hopefully it's 5 stars.
5 stars.
After that, put us in a circle. Give us a +1. We sure appreciate it.
Please, thank you. Next, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/
eWebstyle.
and on that page, you'll find a place to write a review. Write us a review there.
Write us a review.
And if you've got something else, you got a question, a burning
Question,
desire, you
a
want to
review, a
understand
comment,
something, hit us
put
up.
it there. That's a great place to
Right
do
there
it.
on Facebook. We'll get that answered on air. And finally, we've got Stitcher.com / SEO Internet Marketing Podcast, the best of everything. If you just type that in Google, somehow you'll get to our page, and there you will
I
find.
want somebody to try this.
Yeah.
Try this. In the Google search bar, right, Stitcher.com space. If you put Stitcher.com space in your address bar,
Yep.
Google is going to automatically search Stitcher.com for whatever your next statement is. So do this. Stitcher.com space hashtag SEO podcast and see what you come up with.
Yep.
I haven't even tried that. I just thought of that literally.
It'll probably work. You'll probably end up on ours. Then you can, if it's on a particular podcast, you may have to back out to get to write a review for the podcast in general, for the series, or you may just click a button, add review now, and you do that from your web browser. You don't do that from within
From
the app.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can haunt us, stalk us, follow us. We like to make it easy. Facebook.com /
eWebstyle.
Twitter.com /
eWebstyle.
YouTube.com /
eWebstyle.
and Instagram.com /
eWebstyle.
eWebStyle. Is that a surprise? No, it's not a surprise. It's actually exactly what you were expecting. If you are a PHP expert, a WordPress extraordinaire guy, what you should do, and you want to work with us,
Yeah,
then
WordPress experts, like real talk, like PHP, WordPress, what's the LabVIEW? We're looking for somebody special.
If you're the bomb, give us a call, 713-510-7846. Submit an audio resume. If you have a customer who is an SEO customer and you send them to us and they're the good kind of customer that pays their bill, we will pay you. There is a referral program. You can find that at the bottom of our page. Free website analysis. Go to our website. You can get a free website analysis. That is all the advertising you have to do right now. Now it is time for our
algorithm
cataclysm. Our favorites, man. The graphic is getting better. You guys really should check out the
tune
the
in
video.
and watch live, because I mean, you first off you get to see us, right? And then you miss our special effects. So dig this, AlgoCat. All right, so got a couple new things. Both of these are Google related. So I'm putting them in the cataclysm because they do affect the way you search.
Okay.
All right.
Makes
So
sense.
this first one, Google actually rolled out an improvement, more of an upgrade to their conversational search.
Okay.
Right. And so if we talked about this a few podcasts ago, and this hasn't been our first time discussing conversational search, especially with Google improving their voice apps and things like that.
Right.
You want to be optimizing your site the way people speak.
Right.
Because from a mobile device, if somebody grabs their phone and they hit their Google app, because this update only works in the Google search app, and let's say they say something like, what store is closest to my hotel?
Right.
What shoe store is closest to my hotel? The upgrade will automatically index your Gmail, and if you have your hotel listed, it will know that and show you the results for your question.
Wow.
Based off your email.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Same thing with bills.
Okay.
If you if you got a Comcast
when does my next bill due?
Google, when does my next bill due? It will pull that data from the last email that Comcast or TXU or whoever your vendor is, whatever they sent you, is going to pull that information and display it on your screen. Yeah, conversational search upgrade. So pretty cool. Now the key to this, the takeaway is, if you're a local business, brick and mortar, like a shoe store, restaurant, or anywhere else that people can actually come and search for, it's in your best interest to make sure your local place page is verified, because that's the only way Google's going to even
put you in the list.
Place page has to be verified. And 2, on your website, make sure that you're using some structured data markup for your address, and so that way they can index it faster, they can find it faster. It's the same as on your G Plus page, and you increase your likelihood of being listed when somebody asks their Google search app, what store is closest to my hotel, or what store is closest to me where I'm at right now, which in that case your GPS will activate and it'll tell you. So conversational search, pretty cool. And the second one, the Google Answer Box. You've probably been seeing that a lot more lately. What is the Google Answer Box? That's the look he just had on his face. So the Google Answer Box is that box that pops up at the top of the search results when you search for something that they have an answer for, and which is kind of good. It's a great user experience. So for example, if you was to go and search what is the Google Answer Box, right, you would normally get probably first link would be a Google explanation to some blog of theirs. Second one would probably be Wikipedia. Instead, now there's a black box, a dark shaded box above the search results with an answer. Definition, a time, a movie, an artist, whatever it is that you're searching for, that answer will likely now show up. There's a matter of fact, the stat was there's a 44% chance that answer will show up in a Google Answer Box.
Wow, cool.
So from a user perspective, that's awesome. I only have to click a result. Here's my answer right here.
You just got to read it,
From an SEO perspective, it kind of sucks because now that click doesn't have to happen. Right. And so they're not going to your site. Google answered it for them.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's our algo.
We're gonna have to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got a little bit of news. I thought this was pretty cool. Google was hit with 144,000 right to be forgotten requests in Europe. That was EU, right? Yeah. I just thought that was interesting. Facebook.
Yeah, a lot of people like, man,
I want to be forgotten.
Don't. It's ironic how many people don't want to be shown.
Yeah. Well, or at least that particular piece of information, right? Facebook Messenger, remember when it split off and it was a separate download and you had to get it? There was actually a logic behind it. The messaging app is working a significant. It didn't have a specific stat. It's working a lot faster than it was working inside the Facebook app.
Yeah, because it's separated.
Well, and they're using a new technology. So that was pretty cool. They were already using that technology to kind of communicate between servers within Facebook. Now they started using that, and it's called Thrift, was what they're calling it.
I uninstalled it.
Yeah.
I was using it. It's extremely convenient. Makes it
I
easy
love
to
the little
navigate.
circles. They're
I
annoying.
love it and hate it.
Yeah, they're
Exactly.
annoying as hell, and I love them, right?
Because they're like, okay, I need to respond to that, or I
Yeah.
don't need to respond to that. But I just uninstalled it because I thought the privacy policy and the data that they gathered was way too vague
Right.
on how they put it out there,
Right.
and it was new and felt like it was susceptible to hacks.
Right.
And I was like, uninstall.
Uninstall
Note to everybody: if you need to, don't Facebook message me if you want me to respond immediately.
quickly. Yeah.
Text me.
Yep. Yeah, the Facebook messaging is good enough, right? You get to it later. That'll work. Marriott, this was interesting because I just went to a conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and Marriott Hotels was fined $600,000
Oh, for the jamming the signal.
because they were jamming Wi-Fi signals. So you show up and you've got a little hotspot. Marriott's jamming the hotspot, so
force
you
you
can't
to
share
log
it.
onto theirs.
So you got to purchase their overpriced Wi-Fi. By the way, it was like $100 a day at the conference I was at. I mean, it's just ridiculous per device.
Wow.
It is just insane.
Yeah, especially when if you weren't at the conference and you were just checking in for a night, it would be like $9.95.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. No, Marriott's
be free.
No, it would have been $9.95. It's crazy. You go to Motel 6, you
It's
get
free.
free Wi-Fi. You go to the Marriott, you got to pay $10 a night.
You go to the Marriott for a conference.
You got to pay $100 for the booth. It's crazy. I just jotted down 3D printing because I think 3D printing is doing a whole lot of cool stuff. I think is it FedEx or UPS is going to start having 3D printers in their stores. And I read an article. I just saw a picture of a 3D printed part that NASA used in one of their jet engines.
Man.
You just printed a 3D part, and then I was looking that up because I saw they're going to print an entire spaceship and send it up
How
there.
big does the printer have to be to do that?
Well, it's got to be as big as that platform,
Space.
or you can,
Print
it's
pieces
got to be as
of it
wide.
and then
Yeah,
put it together?
yeah. Just think scaffolding, lots
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff, though. I think
Yeah,
we're gonna,
I think so.
and they're also talking about 3D printing in zero gravity areas. So imagine you're in the space station. You're like, my coffee maker stopped working because the nozzle's broken.
Will print me the nozzle.
Print up a new nozzle. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I could dig it.
Kind of makes it change to Apollo 13. All right, we have one review. This is from Brian Hare, and it is 5 stars. It says the eWeb Style Podcast is hands down the best SEO podcast on the planet. These guys have consistently been giving top quality content since 2009.
253. He's probably pretty accurate.
As a recent binge listener, it's been like looking at an SEO version of one of those cross sections of Earth. It's amazing how SEO has evolved, and this podcast has consistently been on the leading edge of that evolution.
Man, that's
Yeah.
what's up.
I am relatively
Edge of
novice.
evolution.
Yeah, I'm relatively novice at SEO,
That's tweet worthy.
but with each listen, I pick up valuable nuggets to help me grow 3dayrespawn.com, which is a video gaming community website that I help admin.
3drespawn.com.
Yep, 3dayrespawn.com. Keep up the good work, guys. And as one commenter a few months ago said, and I'll echo it, if you guys ever make it to Pittsburgh, I'll buy you a Primanti Brothers sandwich. I won't buy you an Iron City beer because it's actually river water. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I like river water.
Yeah, I'm not sure our review is the appropriate place to be slamming Iron City beer. I like it, but I'm not sure it's the right place. But we've got lots of fine local craft beers that will treat you much better. That's from Brian Hare, and that quote was, what was the one that you're looking for?
Leading edge
Yeah.
of evolution.
Has been consistently on the leading edge of that evolution. Man, Brian Hare, punch in the face.
to you, dude.
Thank
Appreciate
you for
it.
the 5-star review. We really appreciate it, and we'll check out that 3dayrespawn.com, some sort of gaming site. So cool. And that is the potatoes of our podcast.
Well,
it's
hold
oh
on,
wait, no, we got a couple tips. All right.
Yeah, so I wanted to give a punch in the face to HubSpot.
Okay,
Punch
HubSpot,
in the
yeah.
face to HubSpot, man. They IPO'd this week, man. They came out at 125. They closed at 917 million.
Evaluation. Wow.
Dude, like,
That's
I'll let
some-
your boy.
That's some dollars.
For real, for real. So punch in the face to you guys.
You know that was because the video you did for them.
Yeah,
Right,
I
that
know
was, you know, yeah,
the
that's
inbound
like-
marketing video. Yeah.
Yeah.
I deserve something.
By the way, Google SEO Wrapper inbound marketing. You'll know
Check
what we're
it out.
talking about.
So got a couple punches in the face. This one goes to Mobile Cuisine. She's at Mobile Cuisine. Hit us up on Twitter. They said they love the at eWebStyle podcast, guys. 5 stars. Woo! Keep up the great work. We'll be reaching out for a site audit soon. Hit us
Cool.
up.
Yeah.
We'll take care of you. This punch in the face goes to Jim Cutler. He's at What's Cooking Jim. He says, at eWebStyle, punch in the face, nice podcast. Hashtag SEO podcast 249. So he's
249,
catching
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what's up, man. We want to get into those questions.
Yeah, let's get to those questions. I don't know. Are we? Hopefully your content's a little
Yeah, we got good
fly
content.
to it. I already got 2 questions.
Got 2 questions. So this one came from Lance. Lance emailed us at podcast@e-webstar.com, and he says, well, he sent me a chart from Mars, right? And basically, the chart is telling him that he realized he has 4 versions
4.
of his site, EVS7. What is the problem causing this, and how should we fix it? 4 versions. He has.
Well, so the problem
is
first
that you have
off,
4 versions.
yes, you've got 4 versions and you didn't realize it because it's
Yeah.
how Google attacks it. But go ahead and list those versions.
Yeah, so he has HTTP evs7.com/index.php.
Right.
Then he has HTTP evs7.com.
Right.
Then he has HTTP evs7.com/index.php.
Right.
And then HTTP//evs7.com. No www, no index. Lance, thank you for submitting your question. Really appreciate it. And this is actually a pretty easy one.
Yep, straightforward.
You just really need to. So based off of the page authority that Mars has shown you, the www.evs7.com has the most authority.
Right.
And that would frankly be the one I would recommend
Yep.
anyway. So you take that domain name, make that your primary, make that your default. I don't know who your domain host is, if it's GoDaddy or whoever, but access your htaccess file,
Right.
and do some 301 redirects for all these other ones to the main one.
Make sure they go to the main one.
Make
So-
sure they go to the main one.
Yep.
And 301 redirect those. The reason you want to 301 those is so any links to those, because they do have some authority. Some of them have 41 links, others have 54 links. You don't want to lose that link juice. And so you want to redirect those to the main one.
Yep.
And so that way, once you do that, then you resubmit. This report should look totally different. It should have one domain name listed.
Yep.
Good
Done.
luck with that. Let us know how that works.
301 redirect.
Don't you read that?
All right, next question is a little more challenging. This is from Peter, businessexpressaccounting.com. Hi guys, I love listening to your podcast. I gave you a +1 in a review on G Plus over a month ago. Haven't
Appreciate
heard
it.
my name on air yet. Always looking for the same fame. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. So to get your attention, here's a curly question. 2 really, I'd appreciate your feedback. I run an accounting business. I have a practice in New Zealand and I'm starting one in Canada. And I do Xero, that's Xero, online accounting software consulting for people all over the world. Right now I'm planning on having 3 separate websites, .nz, New Zealand, .ca, Canada, and .com. Sites are not up yet, just the NZ really. Is this the best approach or should I look at a combined site? Further, some blog articles are only relevant to New Zealand, NZ, some only to Canada, and some are universal. I don't want the Canadian ones visible to the NZ blog view and vice versa. If I run a separate blog on each of the sites, but duplicate the relevant content that will expose me to SEO issues, will that expose me to SEO issues with Google treating the content as duplicate? Many thanks for your podcast and for your response. This is a great question.
Phenomenal
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
So let's clear up some address.
First off, both of them are great questions. This one's a little more challenging.
Yeah,
so,
a little bit more advanced question.
Yeah,
So let's clear up some dupe content issues first.
right.
First off, there is a such thing as dupe content, and you're right. Google may indeed see some sort of issue with 2 separate sites on 2 separate domain names having identical content.
Right.
Luckily, you're in 2 different areas. And so while the Canada content may be a duplicate of what the New Zealand content, that content is still relevant to Canada. And so any searches in Canada, your content, if it's optimized well and it's relevant and it's, good content, then you should still rank, even if it is duplicate content, because it's on another domain in a whole other country.
Remember, the premise about duplicate content is it's not a penalty.
Yeah.
It's just putting the main version, the original one, more prominently, and the other ones in the supplemental. And
exactly.
And
that's really for a specific search result page.
Exactly.
So if this was for the .com site, like if you had the same articles on the .com, like some people do because their WordPress isn't configured correctly, then that's an issue.
Right.
One of them won't show at all. It'll be supplemental. But in your case, you're using two totally different domain names, two totally different extensions, in two totally different countries. And so I don't think your dupe content issue
is going to be a problem.
That will be a problem.
I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. Now, having said, we don't think it's going to be a problem. We don't know for sure, right? So as always, make sure you test it. And the way that you want to test it is set your browser, do a Google search from the .ca Google version and then from the .nz, and look for things relevant to the articles that you have duplicated in both places.
Exactly.
And if you think, and in fact, if you've got 3 is an ideal situation, because what I'd really do is do one on Canada, one on New Zealand, and then one on both, and then make sure that that they're placing well for the terms you're targeting. Make sure they're kind of reasonably equally competitive. And then make sure, okay, the one that was only in Canada, when I search the relevant term, it shows up, first page. The one that's only in New Zealand, same first page. And then when it's duplicated, they should be in a very similar position on both search engines. If they seem to be suffering some sort of penalty, then you really have your answer then that you might need to make.
And then luckily, if indeed they are suffering some sort of penalty, you will get a notification.
Yeah.
Like Webmaster Tools will tell you, hey, this was blocked because of manual spam or dupe content or whatever it is.
Right.
And so luckily you will have access to that type of information.
Yeah, and I think really what I was talking about is if the supplemental is causing some challenge as opposed to an actual penalty. So that's the right test to do. We think that's the right approach.
Yeah, that's how we would do it, frankly.
That's what we would do with a client. If you came to us as a client, that's what we would do. We'd test it, make sure it doesn't suffer any sort of duplicate content penalty, and then move on. That is the potatoes of our podcast. Now it's time to get to the meat.
Yeah, so today's meat, man, a pretty good article. I found this article on Search Engine Land.
Search Engine Land.
Good article here. This one was posted by Tim Ash. And so Tim Ash, Ash, A-S-H.
Tim Ash. Yep.
Yeah. Tim Ash, he says, show me the money. 6 steps to optimizing your payment process.
Oh, nice.
I thought this was cool because I got a personal e-commerce site I work on. We have some people come in recently talking about e-commerce sites, and we have a couple we manage here. And so, anytime you can make it easier for people to check out, it's definitely worth getting into it.
Absolutely.
And so he goes on to say, your payment stage. I like this quote here. Your payment stage is where visitors become buyers.
Yep.
And so, I totally
That's
agree.
that demarcation. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where they're. Until they check out, they're only visitors. I don't care how many products they got in the cart. If they haven't whipped the cart out or used PayPal or whatever, they're not a buyer yet. But your payment page is where that happens at. And so in regards to his 6 steps, number 1, he says optimize for clarity and usability. He says keep your payment form short, simple, and clear. Reduce clutter on your payment form by including only elements that are absolutely necessary for the transaction and don't require special formats like for credit card numbers and things like that. All of those tips are really, really awesome, and I totally agree. What you don't want to do is make it difficult for people to check out. You don't want people to have to find where the button is or realize what are all these forms for or be distracted by other CTAs and social stuff and sharing options and
or have
newsletter
forms.
subscriptions and all kind of other stuff. Don't clutter your checkout page. Make it one thing you can do on this page.
That direction. Yeah.
And so you make that easier by creating big buttons is what I'm adding to this. Big buttons that match your color scheme, of course, that stand out, that they're easy to use. And make it very clear what the next step is, right? So somebody's added something to the cart and now they're at your checkout page. The next step is enter your details. let that be known. This is what it is. Make it easy to do. Big fields, lots of spacing, especially if you get mobile commerce. You don't want people to fat finger stuff, which I think is like tip number 5. So yeah, number 1, optimize for clarity and usability. The second part of that he said was usability. I think that's key. A lot of times we focus on closing the actual deal and not really focusing on how to close that deal. This site has to be usable. It has to be functional. You know, if you're selling products, give people ways to expand the product and see multiple versions of it, the top, the side, the back, the bottom, you know, the inside, the outsides, whatever features it comes with. Make it extremely user-friendly so they can see that information really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Because you need that in order to build that confidence so they can continue to check out.
Yep.
So that was number 1, optimize for clarity and usability. Number 2. One thing I'll add to that as well in regards to the usability. Give people an option for previous orders. So how many times have you logged on? And
if I knew my previous order, I would just place it again or buy the accessories for it.
I'm almost of the type where I might not even know the details of my previous order, but yeah, just give me what I got last time.
Yeah. Because I'm sure I need it.
I'm pretty sure I need it.
I ran out.
Exactly. So give people that option. Number 2, he says address security concerns. Make sure your payment page looks consistent with your entire website and is professionally designed. We can help you with that, by the way.
Yeah.
And he's totally right. If people don't feel secure, then they're really not going to pull out that credit card. They're not going to pay you at all. I don't care how much they like your site, how bad they really need your product, how cheap you have it, how great your free shipping is. If they're not comfortable because of some fear over security, especially with, the Dairy Queen this week got hacked, and 60,000 accounts, and Home Depot before that, and Target before that, people are becoming more and more cautious about where they use their billing information. You need to be secure. How do you be secure? Norton, VeriSign, like these badges should be on your site. They should be prominent. People recognize them. People identify with them. They know that means secure.
Yeah.
If your site is e-commerce, you should be on a secure server. HTTPS should be there. People are learning now. These were more educated consumers. They know to look.
And the browsers now have made a lock. They made it really obvious
that this site is secure. And so if you're running e-commerce, you must do those things in order to get over that fear of security for your site visitors. I skipped one. Number 3. Number 3 was offer multiple ways to pay. I really like this one.
Yeah.
I mean, because sometimes I may not be comfortable putting my card in.
Right.
Because and you maybe addressed my security issues. But since maybe I have a few dollars in my PayPal account or in my Google Wallet set up with my checkout, or maybe I'm Apple Pay or Bitcoin or whatever it is, offer multiple ways to pay. And so that way, whoever is concerned about using their credit card information, they can use one of these other methods
that afford an additional layer of protection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I say this: before you do that, consider the devices of the people who visit your site. The analytics way. You go into analytics, you go under mobile overview, and then you'll see like desktop, mobile, and tablet, and then look at your users, right? If bulk of your users are mobile, then go a step further and look at what type of mobile.
Right.
And if bulk of those are Android, then you definitely should be offering Google Wallet. Right?
Yep.
If most of them are Apple, then make sure you have an Apple Pay icon. If you got a mix of stuff, make sure you include PayPal and things like that. And so I think the key here is being aware of the type of visitors you have, and so you can know what best to offer them in order for them to check out. Number 4, fat finger challenges. I like this one. He said a few things on the fat finger challenges. Minimize the customer's effort by using technology to pre-fill information.
No doubt.
Totally, especially on a mobile device. Last thing you want to do on a mobile device is have to type in name, email, phone number, this, twice.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to do that. That's a turnoff.
Yeah.
That's a turnoff almost on a desktop. It's definitely a turnoff on a mobile device or a tablet. Visually reinforce the mobile shopper's sense of security with well-placed badges, icons. That's what we were just speaking about. I like this one. Domino's does this well. Show progress indicators.
Yeah.
right?
So you know
add
how
it to
much-
cart.
yep.
Yeah, you know you're almost there. One more step away, and I'm done.
I got my pizza.
Exactly. Or I got my new Amazon tablet case, or
Yep.
whatever it is
Yeah.
you're ordering, right? So I thought that was pretty key. One of the things I added was so number 5. Understand the needs of international customers. This is key because we do international
Yeah.
commerce here. We
A
got a
lot.
different business
Yeah.
we work in, and that's important when people are visiting your site, especially when you run into issues with like credit card processors and things like that. They just may not process that type, or there may be some difficulty doing that. And so he says, if you currently don't process international orders, say so up front.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I totally agree. What he's doing is addressing a potential customer service issue ahead of time.
Right.
You tell people, look, I can't take your money. I'm sorry. You let them know that up front. Then that way they won't spend that
Waste their
time
time
going through your site
Filling
and
out your
adding to
form
the
twice.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, he said that twice. So I'm gonna say this, and that wasn't even on here. But give them a box. Use the same address as shipping or billing.
Yep.
And that way you won't have to fill that out
Twice, yeah.
And so I added this, lay out the rules of international purchasing, right? If you get a large traffic to your site, international traffic, and they purchase, it's worth you creating a page specifically for them.
Yep.
That just outlines the process. Look, it's going to take this long. You're going to
We
have
ship
to,
only slow. We only signature required. That kind of
yeah,
stuff.
give them the rules up front, so at least that way they know.
Yep.
And then, frankly, you should include a link to that same page on whatever conversion-related email that they get. That, hey, here are the rules to how this international shipping and stuff
Yep.
is going to work.
Set the expectations.
Definitely. Last one, number 6, speed up payment processing.
Amazon is good at this.
Oh, they're
You
great at it.
click a button, you're like, oh,
Done.
I'm done. Wow.
Yeah, he says when customers finally click that place order button on your site, do they end up watching a spinning circle for 5, 10, or even 15 seconds before being taken to a confirmation page? Which, by the way, that's the word I was looking for earlier. Confirmation page. The longer the spinning circle goes on, the more anxious the customer gets. And that is so true.
Yep.
It's spinning like, oh, Lord, especially after I just put my billing information
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Now I'm like,
Now it's frozen up. Do I do it again?
And then
Second
I don't know if it's
purchase?
frozen. Is it
Yeah.
really frozen,
Yeah.
or is your cart just really, really slow? And so that's what he's saying. Speed up your payment processing. What I like to do to kind of alleviate that is add some messaging to the payment page. Hey, we're processing your order right now.
Give 'em something to do.
Give me a moment. In a minute, you'll be presented with blah, blah, blah.
And while you're at it, like us on Facebook
Exactly.
and a separate link.
And a separate link that it takes them off to a whole nother window because you really can't close that page, right? So yeah, give them some things to do while they're there, to keep them distracted. Maybe you even put a video
Yeah.
embedded on the payment page
Yeah.
that just upsells them to related products or whatever, so they can watch the video while it's loading and processing. So that was it.
Cool.
Punch in the face to Tim Ash, man. He says,
Mr. Ash.
Mr. Ash, show me the money. 6 steps to optimizing your payment process. And that was a pretty good article. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you could have put a lot more things in there, like faster carts, or making sure that you give people the option to guest checkout, or
Right.
there's all sorts of things you could do to improve your whole e-commerce procedure.
In fact, you should be revisiting it probably once a month to kind of look at it, go through the purchase process yourself again, see if there's a way to speed it up. Maybe have a couple people do it while you're watching them.
Let different types of people, young person, millennial, baby boomer,
Yep.
because they're all going to have a different experience.
Yep.
And get some
Absolutely.
feedback.
Cool. So I think we have some what news?
Oh, yeah, we do have some what news. What? Yeah, so this is what goes to Mr. Satya or Satya Nadella. He's the CEO of Microsoft. Really stuck his foot in his mouth. He was at the conference. They was at a marketing conference.
Okay.
And he was being interviewed, and so they asked him a question about. The question was, how do you feel about women asking for a raise?
Okay. Yeah.
He went on to say, it's not, and this is quote, it's not really about asking for the raise, but knowing and having faith that the system will actually give you the right raise as you go along. Not asking for a raise, he added, is good karma and would help a boss realize that the employee could be trusted and should have more responsibility.
Man, that guy has an issue. He has like a totally other issue.
So So dig this.
Wow.
So after he did that, he immediately got attacked on social media. Everybody went at him like racist and feminist and this and that. And then he retracted it and he released some statements and put out a whole post about how he was all the way wrong and that's not how he meant it and that women should ask for raises and equality and equal pay is deserved and this and that.
I can see the first part of that sentence kind of meaning from the perspective of
I can understand
where
system it came from.
The system should be right. You shouldn't be asking for a raise in general. The second one cosigns on that. You shouldn't be asking for a raise in general, which I totally disagree with. Like,
yeah, if you feel like you need a raise and you've been working hard, then ask for it.
The world is a negotiation. The world is a negotiation, so ask. And you are never going to get anything if you don't ask. And by the way, if they have a problem if you ask, it's their problem, not your problem. Yeah, wow.
And if they get offended because you asked for a raise when you know now it's different. If you showing up late, you half-ass performing, you're not doing your job, you have a bad attitude, your customer service sucks, don't come asking for no raise.
Right.
But
and probably not month after month after month. If you get one, maybe wait a little while, whatever.
But if you're performing, you're doing what you have to do, you're excelling, you're actually overperforming, and you know that, and you know they know that. And look, if you want that raise, you better go ask for it.
Go ask for it. If
so
it's not forthcoming.
Yeah. So like my boy Charlemagne would say, man, give him the biggest hee-haw. And you probably don't listen to the Breakfast Club, but you know I do. Yeah. So this is what news was to him.
What? Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and then we got word of the week.
Word of the week.
So this week's word is usability. All right, usability.
All right.
It's basically the ease of use and functionality of something man-made. In this case, it could be a website, maybe a landing page, or an app, or anything like that.
iPhone,
a device. The usability of it. How easy is it to use? How functional is it? And so take this with you, whatever you're doing, whether it's marketing, whether it's your site, whether it's a new device you're creating, whether it's your product or service, think about the usability.
And frankly, make it as high as possible.
Yeah, especially for your site. You know, usability is an algorithm, is a part of the algorithm.
Yeah.
How user friendly is this site? Does it have the right elements? You know, is the form easy? Does it load fast? Is this content visible across different platforms? You know, that's important. All that's for usability. So that's our word of the week, man.
Cool. All right. Well, that is the meat of our podcast. This is podcast number 253. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for making us the most popular internet marketing podcast on iTunes. We did broadcast live from 5999 West 34th Street, Suite 106, Houston, Texas, 77092. Until the next podcast, my name's Chris Burress.
Charles Lewis.
Bye-bye for now.